That question doesn't need an answer. It already trembles under its own beauty. Because when Americans or anyone ask who among BTS is the most handsome, what they are really asking is whose soul shines the brightest, whose presence lingers longest, whose art moves me the deepest. For many, that answer is Jungkook. Not because he surpasses his brothers, but because he embodies a rare whole. Fierceness and softness together, precision and imperfection. Beauty in a singer often starts in the ears. Tone, control, range. Jungkook has all that, but more importantly, his voice conveys honesty. When he sings, it sounds like he's naming everything that keeps him alive. Memories, fears, hopes. That kind of voice doesn't just sound good, it feels right. There is no filter between his heart and the listener. In his quieter moments, a breath, a pause becomes as powerful as the loudest chorus. That emotional transparency, rare, vulnerable, is magnetic. Every inch of his performance speaks of effort. From precision in dance steps to the immaculate recording, to the moments between when sweat falls, when blinking eyes adjust to harsh lights, he leaves none of it to chance. He pushes himself, trains, practices. But this devotion doesn't make him robotic. It makes him alive. It makes him someone who values every small detail because he values those who witness it. Craft becomes compassion, giving his best because people believe in him and because he believes in his art. That relentless pursuit of excellence becomes part of what makes him beautiful, not just the result, but the journey. Often, when someone becomes larger than life, humility becomes the casualty. But with Jungkook, humility seems intrinsic. You see it in interviews when he credits others, in gestures when he comforts fellow members, in moments when he doesn't need to stand in spotlight to make impact. That kind of self-awareness, it's rare. It says he knows where he began, knows what he owes, and knows what he still wants to become. That map of past and future etched in a person adds depth. Beauty becomes not just about what you see, but how you remain grounded while rising. He allows you to feel closer. When he laughs unguarded, when he fights tears, when he falters and recovers, all of it reminds you that behind stardom sits a human being. That humanity, that vulnerability, is the thread that pulls people close. And once you are close, everything else, the light behind his eyes, the power in his voice magnifies. Because the most beautiful moments are those where distance dissolves and what's real stands forward. Yes, Jungkook is striking to behold. Features carved with balance. Bone structure that catches light, soft skin, expressive eyes that have laughter and longing in them. But what makes that physical beauty resonate is it isn't opacity. You see his efforts behind the makeup. You see the sweat when he dances at full throttle. You see the exhaustion. The exterior and the interior align. Features are not masks, they are windows. You look at him and see someone who wakes up and moves through the world with both grace and grit. He sings pop. He sings rock-inflected ballads. He raps. He dances. He draws. He emotes. In every form, he absorbs the shape and yet filters it through himself so that it remains unmistakably his. That versatility shows courage, the courage to stretch, to risk, to fail. And failure, when owned, becomes part of art. Observing him grow from teenage trainee to the man he is now, your admiration builds. Beauty isn't static. It blooms and transforms. He blooms with intentionality. In a time noisy with perfection, curated lives, filtered faces, Jungkook reminds us that authenticity still matters. That striving and vulnerability are not weaknesses. That softness isn't defeat. And intensity isn't cruelty. We admire someone who allows shadows as well as light. Because when someone bears light so generously, the shadows they carry become proof of journey. We cling to melodies that tremble. We cry to lyrics that expose. We believe in people who don't pretend to always be okay. Jungkook shows that being okay is not the measure. Being real is. That quality has fascinated American audiences. They're used to confidence presented as loudness, charisma performed through excess. Jungkook inverts that model. He's proof that restraint can be magnetic, that stillness can command a room. His gestures are minimal, but they linger. He doesn't try to stand out, he simply does. This quiet magnetism explains why international fans, without translation, without shared language, understand him. Presence transcends words. He doesn't perform charm, he exists in it. He's the eye of calm in the storm of fame, and people look toward him instinctively, drawn to that stability. American audiences often describe Jungkook's appearance as the perfect middle ground, not distant like a statue, not ordinary like a neighbor. His beauty feels human enough to be reachable, but refined enough to be rare. That duality makes him endlessly interesting. There's familiarity in his warmth, in the youth that still flickers through his smile. Yet there's also the unreachability of precision, how each expression seems sculpted yet unplanned. That contrast, warmth and polish, closeness and mystery, forms the emotional geometry of his appeal. He doesn't rely on exaggerated fashion or dramatized gestures. His confidence lies in subtlety. The soft texture of his hair, the clarity of his skin, the defined but natural line of his eyes all seem effortless, but they are maintained with rigorous attention. Americans often associate that naturalness with authenticity. In Jungkook, authenticity isn't a slogan, it's visible proof. There's a rare quality in Jungkook that goes beyond appearance energy. His beauty radiates not from symmetry alone, but from vitality. The way he carries momentum, how he walks, how he breathes between movements, all show a life force that never fades. He doesn't pose, he exists. That energy is what transforms a handsome man into a captivating one. Viewers feel uplifted after watching him perform. That's not magic, it's transference. His focus becomes contagious. You sense it even through screens, in photos, in concerts broadcast across oceans. In the United States, where star culture often revolves around excess, Jungkook represents balance. His image is pure current, clean, charged, intentional. Beauty for him is kinetic, it moves. It never sits still because he never does. His eyes are, without question, his most powerful feature. Large enough to reveal thought, dark enough to hold mystery. When the light hits them, they reflect not just his surroundings, but his inner stillness. There's calm in the gaze, but also distance, like he sees everything, even what's left unsaid. Those eyes carry history. You can trace the young trainee who looked uncertain, the man who grew into control, the artist who now commands the stage with quiet certainty. In every look, there's trace of journey, and that journey gives meaning to his beauty. Handsomeness that evolves is handsomeness that lives. In the Western gaze, where the idea of beauty often changes with seasons, Jungkook's eyes hold constancy. They remind people that beauty isn't trend, it's truth made visible through time. It's impossible to separate Jungkook's physical appeal from how he moves. His body becomes instrument, every gesture deliberate yet fluid, powerful yet unforced. Dance isn't choreography for him. It's instinct translated into motion. When he performs, you see the lines of discipline, sharpened by emotion. His control turns even the smallest motion into impact. The flex of a wrist, the turn of a head, the way he breathes through rhythm, all radiate precision. Americans often compare his control to athletes, but even that falls short. Because Jungkook's power lies not just in physical mastery, but in storytelling. He turns movement into meaning. That synthesis of body and narrative is rare and deeply magnetic. When the performance ends, silence follows differently. You don't just see someone who looked beautiful, you feel someone who was beautiful. His movement translates beauty into language universal to every audience. Voice and beauty intertwine more closely than people admit. A beautiful face can be momentary, but a beautiful sound lingers. Jungkook's voice does exactly that. It lingers. It bends light, reshapes mood, slows time. What makes it unique is tone. It isn't sharp, it isn't overly sweet. It's balanced, grounded, full of body. When he sings English songs, the diction feels intimate, not foreign. American audiences respond to that fluency, the smoothness with which he inhabits another language, not as imitation, but as interpretation. His vocal texture, slightly husky yet melodic, carries an unteachable warmth. That warmth becomes visual. People hear it, and their minds see him. That connection between sound and image is part of why his handsomeness feels dimensional. It's not a face, it's an experience. Every live stage reaffirms that beauty for Jungkook is not decoration, it's resonance. His art and appearance move together, breathing in the same rhythm. The American audience, attuned to image, admires polish, but they respect effort even more. Jungkook's visible perfection isn't perceived as privilege, but as proof of persistence. His routines, his consistency, his commitment to improvement, these qualities resonate deeply with cultures that value work ethic. When fans see his transformation from debut boy to global icon, they don't see vanity, they see growth. His physique, lean and strong, reflects self-control rather than indulgence. That self-control becomes beauty itself. In him, beauty is the aftermath of integrity. Every aesthetic choice, tattoos, hairstyle, outfits follows intention. He never hides his evolution. He documents it. And that documentation makes people invest emotionally. Because when you witness effort, beauty becomes narrative, not static image. Jungkook doesn't fit into any single country's beauty standard. That's precisely why he transcends all of them. His look bridges the soft and the sharp, the fullness of Korean features with the angularity admired in Western media. But more than features, it's adaptability that makes him universally appealing. Photographers love him because his face tells stories differently under every light. In one shot, he's boyish. In another, regal. He can embody contradiction, masculinity with grace, power with subtlety, control with spontaneity. That range is what captivates American fans. To them, Jungkook's beauty feels alive, not fixed. It evolves. It breathes. It refuses to be labeled. Every public appearance, airport, look, campaign, live performance adds a new frame to an ever-growing portrait. And in that constant evolution lies permanence. Because people remember those who keep surprising them. Jungkook has made surprise his natural state. When surveys ask, who is the most handsome BTS member according to Americans, the repetition of his name isn't random. It reflects recognition built over time. Each era, whether black-haired minimalist Jungkook, long-haired stage performer, or sleek Calvin Klein ambassador, cements his identity further. He embodies visual reliability. Fans know he'll never appear careless. Every look, though effortless to the eye, carries deliberate harmony. Americans equate that harmony with professionalism. They see him not only as an idol, but as a complete artist who understands presentation as part of communication. The consistent answer, Jungkook, therefore, isn't just about facial appeal, it's acknowledgement of composure, intention, and self-awareness. He represents what beauty looks like when discipline meets personality. In an age when appearance is often performed, Jungkook's beauty feels earned. That's why he stands out even among stars. His handsomeness is not ornamental, it's aspirational. It reminds people of what they could be if they approached life with precision and care. He's not idolized as fantasy, but respected as benchmark. Every frame, every gesture communicates quiet. Control, the kind that doesn't seek validation, but commands it naturally. That quiet control has become his brand. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Perfection invites envy, but consistency inspires trust. People trust Jungkook's image because it never feels dishonest. Every year, every project, his face mirrors his growth without losing its original sincerity. That sincerity is the foundation of his visual legacy. Jungkook's appeal resists imitation because it's not mechanical. You can copy hairstyle, fashion, or tattoos, but you can't duplicate the aura that comes from authenticity. That aura is his signature. He moves like someone aware of his influence, but uninterested in flaunting it. That subtle disinterest enhances his allure. The less he forces, the more people lean closer. The less he speaks, the more they listen. True beauty, especially for men, is rare when it invites admiration without insecurity. Jungkook's brand of beauty elevates rather than intimidates. It's confident but not arrogant, self-assured but not detached. That equilibrium is his rarest trait.